the enemy pulls us 5 steps forward, and it seems like we just wrestle, and it's a tug of war every day. You go to church, and you get a little shout, you get a little feel good and a little dance, and you feel like you're doing pretty good, and this time you're pulling the devil along. But as soon as you step out of the house of God, there's that devil again, and he starts, amen, come on, starts pulling us. We get to work, and somebody don't say something right, and the next thing you know, that flesh is pulling you again. And I tell you, even Thursday night rolls around, maybe prayer meeting, and you get down and you begin to pray. Amen, I'm pulling the devil this time, and I'm telling the devil, amen, I'm standing on the solid rock, I'm anchored in Christ, and you're not going to win this battle.
Preach, Pastor, come on, preach it out.
Have you ever thought, I cannot understand why it is that every day seems to be a juggling act, that just about the time that I feel like I got faith, that I'm battling with bitterness. Amen. Just about the time that I feel like that I've got one part of my life under control and I'm doing pretty good, the devil starts working on something else. Come on. Amen. He's going to pull you along. Amen. The devil starts pulling you along. You say, I thought I had faith. I thought I had power. I thought I got the victory last Thursday, and here it is again. I got news for you. The devil ain't never going to let you go until you tell him when to hit the exit. You got to tell that devil, amen, stop badgering me, staying in my ear. You got to let go and let God do what he wants.
Yes, amen.
Every day. It's back and forth. Just go back and forth. Every day. If it ain't my kids, if it ain't my job, if it ain't the fact that I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pay this bill and that bill and the other. Come on, somebody, y'all help me. If it ain't because somebody at church didn't wave at me, somebody didn't like the color of my dress, I couldn't find it on clearance, so I had to pay full price, and my husband got upset with me. Come on now. Yeah, come on, that's reality. Things like that really happen. Amen. Your husband, your wife, you're back and forth. Your grandchildren, you can't see them, and your children are trying to punish you because you don't like the way you do things. Come on, somebody, help me preach. It's a back and forth daily grind, and if that ain't enough, right in the middle of it all, if you're not physically or spiritually worn down, now you're physically worn down. Just let go, and now you feel like a cripple. Come on. Hold this one hand. Now I'm just a cripple. Just pick up one leg and stand like a flamingo. Let me tell you why. Sister Cindy, I know you know what I'm talking about. Am I right? Am I telling you right? Just stand on that one leg. If you have to, lean over something. Just stand on one leg. You know, whenever you're physically down, how many knows, are you with me, that sometimes it seems so easy when you're already physically going through something? It just seems like the spiritual things seem to affect you so much easier. Hey, come on. And so the devil's it's easy for him to pull us over when we're already going through a physical battle. And I tell you, the devil wasn't meant to win. Somebody say amen to me. It ain't God's will that the devil wins. I want you to know that what we need more than anything is to get God on our side, because if we can do that, we can win the battle.
Amen, Pastor. Come on.
Amen. That tug of war, it's often viewed as a battle of brute strength. And in any tug of war, there's always 3 components. We'll call it team number 1, team number 2, and the rope.
Come on, come on.
In some countries, tug of war is a major event. You got fellas on that tug of war line on both sides. It may be Greece or Spain against Russia or something like that. I mean to tell you, some of them boys on that line, you get one on one side, you'll see veins popping out of their neck. Amen. Some of them, they got thighs and their upper leg. It looks like 4 of some people's legs, because that's what they're engaged in brute force. Amen. You've got team number one. We'll say it's the good. We'll say team number two is the bad. And then we got our will.
Come on, come on.
You ever lose this, you got problems. You know what the devil wants more than anything? He wants your will to. Because if he can get your will to, he can get your soul. Come here, Sister Tammy. That thing that stands between us, victory, our will. With the right will, we'll pray. With the right, come here, Sister Tammy. Just hold this up. I want you to stand here as a representation of how many times this has been your will. With the right will, amen, when I'm struggling with things that I need to get deliverance over, I might find a group of friends or support group that'll stand with me in prayer. I might find an accountable person that if I can call and say, I'm struggling, will you pray for me? If I've got the will to, I'm going to make it. If I got the will to, when I get up on a Sunday morning and my flesh don't feel good and I feel like I'm downtrodden and my will is struggling, if I've got the will to, I'll go on to the house of the Lord. But if I ain't got the will to, just let go of it. And when I lose out with my will, the devil just reels my will in little bit by little bit. And I want you to know, this is where a lot of folks have backslid because they played around with their will. And I tell you, when you lose that, you lost it all. And I tell you this morning, you got to have a will to get down on your knees and pray. You got to have a will to lift up your hands and praise when you don't feel like it. You got to have a will to fast when your flesh is not under subjection. You got to have a will to. I'm telling you, if you don't will to, you won't. Sister Cindy, you might come in for just a minute. Amen. You sit down, sister. Amen. I want you to know something. Amen. I hope if I embarrass you, tell me later, you can fire me. I sure wouldn't ever want to do that. She tells me I'm like her son. Amen. It wasn't that many months ago. Hold this. That the devil was pulling at your will too. And I remember when you stood up and you testified about all the different things that the doctors had you on and how that the enemy was pulling at your will and how the devil would tell you, if you don't have this and you don't have that, then you can't get by. But I want you to know what the devil was doing. He was pulling at your will too. What he wanted you to do was trust everything that doctors could do. Trust everything that a pill could do. I'm telling you, the enemy's not going to give up. He's going to keep on pulling and pulling and pulling. And eventually, if we're not careful, there'll be a time in our life when we'll break down and we'll let the devil have our will. Just let go of it. And it's that time that he starts reeling us in again. And I tell you, you got to have a confrontational pull on the other end of the rope. There's some of you, when you meet the devil, he meets with no confrontation. There's some of you, you need to start putting up a fight. You need to stop letting the devil browbeat you and take away your joy. God. If I let the devil, he'll pull me right back where God. If I let the devil, he'll pull me right back where I was last year. Revival comes. And I hit a couple nights of revival, pulling back. And I'm feeling pretty good. I'm getting my will to back. This is my will. Amen. The devil says, I'm going to keep on working on your will until I can get you to give in. I'm going to keep on working on your will until you give in to that temptation. Let me tell you, folks, I preach this over and over, but I got to say it again this morning. You see what a lot of folks' problem is? They're only cleaning up the surface. Let me preach it out. We're only dealing with the surface problems. You say, preacher, I got a problem with this thing and I got a problem with that thing. Do you know this morning, if you only change your behavior and you never deal with Are you helping me preach? If you never get it on the altar, you can put on your religious face. Come on, you can hide behind every religious act. But I'm telling you, until you put it on the altar, it will resurface. If you're a liar, you're listening to me real good. I'm preaching on the tug of war of the soul. If you're a liar, you may begin to change your behavior. You may stop the fact that you're lying and you start working on it. You're trying to stop lying, but you never put it on the altar and get purged of it. There's going to come a time when the devil knows your very weakness and he's pulling at your will. And he's going to put you in a situation where he's going to whisper in your ear and he's going to say, your reputation's at stake. Your life is at stake. Your marriage is at stake. Come on, your soul. Come on, all these things. So you might want to just go ahead and lie. And I tell you what the devil does. He does that because he knows he's pulling on your will too. And the moment, hey man, get way back over here for right now. The moment that you let down your guard, the moment that you let up, is the moment that the devil starts pulling you in. Amen. One by one, he's pulling you in. Amen. You know why? Because you let up and you let the devil back in. I'll tell you the real problem is this. You never put it on the altar. You come on. Amen. I've said it like this before. But if you cage a lion, he's still a lion. And if it's just like the zoo here a few years ago where some kids were standing outside of that tiger place, I think it was, taunting those tigers. Finally, one of those tigers, he found a hut to jump on. He jumped on that, jumped out, and mauled those kids. And I tell you, you might think to yourself, I can get by like this wearing a religious mask, but I'm telling you, you're just caging the lion. The lion will get back out. Hallelujah. What we've dealt with is this yabba-dabba-doo religion. A little dab here, a little dab there. A little smidgen of this, a little smidgen of that. If I want my recipe to taste like cinnamon, folks, just ask my wife. I don't put a dab. Come on. If I want it to taste like cinnamon, I'm going to put some cinnamon there. Come on.
Gallon.
What some folks are trying to do, they're trying to remedy their problems by dab. I wean myself.
Oh Lord.
You helping me preach? Just a dab. But I want you to know this morning, that ain't the plan of God. Let me tell you the biggest thing. I'm just going to have to preach this out with the Lord's help. You see, the biggest problem is that when we're trying to deal with our problems, sometimes we think the problem's too big for God. Sometimes we think the problem's too small for God. And sometimes we just never give it to God. Sometimes we say we gave it to God, but giving it to God is more than a confession with your lips. Giving it to God is more than something you say when you go to the altar. Giving it to God is a total release of every bit of my will for the will of God so that I might be in His plan. It is then and only then. Come here, Brother Smith, and help me out. Can I say something this morning? It matters. I'm around the side. It matters who's on your team. Say amen, somebody. Amen. This means amen. Come on, amen. It matters who you got on your team. You ever pick tug of war sides or teammates? And raise your hand. What are you looking for? I just appreciate your honesty.
I knew where that was.
Anybody, come on, anybody else ever picked out teams? You know what else I've looked for? I look for my best friend. people I like real well. And I look for those ones that are strong, big. Because I understand that this is a battle of pure brute force. And I have got to have every ounce. I feel bad for you. I have got to have, y'all need to back up this way. I've got to have every bit of help that I can get. Now y'all can come over here for a minute. Come here. Come on over here, son. Because sometimes you got all the devil and all of his angels, imps, on the other side pulling at you. Folks, I may not be able to recreate what I'm telling you this morning. But I want you to listen to me real close. Because there are some of you that battle with depression. There are some of you that battle with pure anxiety. There are some of us that battle with hurt feelings and hatred, jealousy, bitterness, and all kinds of bottled up feelings. And sometimes you'll be just sitting around somewhere and all of a sudden those feelings begin to resurface. And they begin to pull at us. They begin to war at us. They begin to pull every bit of life out of us. So much to the point that there'll be times that you'll look down, hold your head down, and you say, I don't even feel like going to church today. Come on, brother. Come on, stay right there. I don't even feel like going to church today. I'm afraid if I go to church, I have to face the same junk I always face. I'll fail, I'll fall on my face again. I'm going to go through the same junk all over again. Has the devil ever came by to you and told you, why do you even bother? You're going to fall right back in the same trap. You're going to fall right back in the same mud hole that you were. Why do you even bother? And every time that you ever get weak, the first thing he does is, see, I told you. See, look at you. Just look at yourself. What a mess that you are. You see, what he wants you to see is nothing more than you on the other end of that line. Y'all can sit down. And all he wants to see is you by yourself on the other side of that line. That's all I see. I don't have my husband helping me. I don't got my church helping me. I ain't got my friends. I ain't got no friends. Nobody seems to understand what I feel on the other side of this line. Pull some of that out. But like I said a while ago, it matters who's on your side. You see, the Bible told us in the book of Revelation, we're accounted as sheep for the slaughter.
Yes, amen.
Daily, the Bible lets us know that as the people of God, we're accounted as sheep for the slaughter. You ever seen the way that they do it in a slaughterhouse? They're lined up one after another, after another, after another. Anybody besides me, you ever been in a church and it looks like that one's going through it, that one's going through it, that one's going through it? You ever seen waves of sickness hit a church? Waves of depression, waves of spiritual oppression. And I tell you, it's nothing more than every one of us being lined up for the slaughter. But it matters who is on your side. Can I tell you this morning, if you've been trying to fight your battle on the fact that you're handsome, on the fact that you're intelligent, on the fact that you got it together, you can have the coolest walk this side of a pocket, and that ain't going to get you no victory. You can have the best smile this side of Orlando, and that ain't going to get you no victory. And I can tell you this, if you got the right person on your side, you're going to be all right. We try to put counselors and therapists, doctors on our side. And sometimes because we go to church, we have sudden bursts of feel good. We think we might be all right to keep doing it like we're doing it. You hear what I'm saying? Am I preaching this out okay? Because sometimes we feel like, well, maybe I can handle this because I went to church and I prayed and I got to feel good. Those sudden bursts of feel good, just stay right there and hold your own, are like this. Ooh, that feels pretty good. I felt a little chill bump in church tonight. Actually, I think I moved the devil at least a foot or so I can keep doing it like I'm doing it. Let me tell you, don't mistake a little bit of feel good every now and then. That if you just keep doing it this way, that it's going to work out. The reason why some people don't want anybody else on their side, because they know there's going to be certain requirements. I know if the Lord gets on my side, I may have to live up to His word. But just like Ishmael and Isaac, two kings can't sit on the same throne. There's strife, there's contention in the house. Some of you need to crucify your flesh and get the right person on your side. I feel pretty good. I moved the devil a little bit tonight. Amen. And you can't understand for the life of you why you go back Thursday night, amen, last Sunday night. I'm not preaching to nobody. I'm just making this up as I go, okay? Last Sunday night, I was mad at everybody else because they wasn't getting in. Come on. But I walk in this week, and I can't even as much as raise my hand. Look like you've been into a limit. Sour. What happened between then and then? It's because you've been trying to do it your way.
Right.
But one of these days, in just a good old-fashioned Holy Ghost service, and I sure hope it be today, that somebody's going to get wise enough to say, you know what it is I'm tired of? It ain't the fact that I'm tired of the people at my job. I've been mad at everybody else. So you need to hear me real well. I've been mad at my husband. I've been mad at my wife. I've been mad at my church. All this rigmarole pulling on my wheel. I've been mad at everything and everybody around me. When what I need to realize, it ain't flesh and blood that I'm wrestling against, but it is spiritual wickedness in high places. I can get mad at the devil. I can get mad because things ain't going my way. You can get mad at your husband. But in fact, what the real problem is, you are battling in a spiritual warfare. I'm almost done. The word warfare means a war journey. And you thought you was going to become a child of God, never have a problem. It is a war journey. And the closer you get, or the closer you try to get, there's going to be a continual battling, amen, of the soul against the enemy. But one of these days, and I sure hope it'll be today, that somebody's going to say, just hang your head now. I'm so tired of this back and forth. Back and forth. So tired of this. It's wearing me thin. It's wearing me out. Some of you feel just like, come on, I know some of you feel what I'm telling you. You get so tired of this, you ain't got no direction this morning. You ain't got, come on, you need God to give you direction. You need to tell God, you need God to tell you what to do next. You've been praying here and there, but you have yet to tap in. And finally you say, I just can't take it no more. I want you to look up. And this is going to be Jesus this morning. And I want you to cry. I want you to say, Jesus.
Jesus.
Say it one more time.
Jesus.
Say it louder.
Jesus.
And you know what he says? He said, and behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man will open that door, he said, I will come in and I will sup with you. You know what he said to hold in Luke 10 and 19? I give you power and tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. You know what he was telling the church? You ain't got to wrestle like this every day. You ain't got to go back and forth like this. I know Adam lost the power in the garden, but he said when I've been defeated death, hell, and the grave, he said I gave the church the power back. When I defeated death, hell, and the grave, I gave the church her victory back. It matters who you got on the other end of this rope. You see, the devil doesn't want you to completely sell out. And this is what it's going to take for some of you to get where you need to be, is a complete sellout. I'm tired of doing it on my own. I'm tired of doing it my way. I'm tired of trying to be religious. I'm tired of trying to make everybody happy. Jesus, if I have got to start all over again like I never was saved, and I got to start all over again to have you on my side, will be worth it. Because now, when there's a back and forth, He knows how to keep enough tension on your will that it ain't jerking you, it's snatching you. It's not that there still won't be a little pull here and there, but He said, I'm going to stabilize the rope in your will for you. Keep pulling. Start snatching on it, Brother David. Start snatching on it. Come on, snatch on it. You see, He realized before that it was bad. Amen. I know it's funny, but I want you to see the reality of the way that it really is. Amen. Sister Debbie, you know what I want you to do? Keep on pulling. I want you to yell out, I plead the blood. I plead the blood. I plead the blood. In the name of Jesus. You know what Jesus does? Jesus said there ain't no confrontation here. Jesus said, I'm tired of you, Satan. I'm sick and tired of what you've been doing to my child. The game is over with. It's time some of you say, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm willing to completely sell out. We're just so sick and tired that every time we turn around, amen, it's a jerk and a snatch and a jerk and a snatch. I can't stand it. I can't do this on my own. I've got to have some help. Can I testify for just a few minutes before I close? I went to youth camp this week. We got to get around the altar worshiping the Lord. And the Spirit of God began to come down and touch my mind, my spirit, and my body. I felt some goodness I hadn't felt in a while because I was willing and I was able to just kind of completely let go of everything and let God touch me. A little while later, I thought, well, I got that room back there, you know, a little dorm room. I can go back there and rest. Most of you know the battle of sickness that I've had for a while. A lot of the day, I'll go back and I'll lay down and I'll sleep for 3 or 4 hours sometimes, just so I can try to have enough strength to get through the rest of the day. But I went back to my room and I started praying. And as I started praying, the Spirit of God came in there. And I began to pray, and I told the Lord, Sister Benefield, I said, God, I'm not asking you to completely do away with all my troubles and trials. I'm just asking you, give me enough strength and help me enough that I can deal with it. I can't work for you like I need to. I can't do what I need to do. And I'll tell you something, amen.
The most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?
Have you ever thought about, say, getting a particular car? Then suddenly you see that type of car everywhere. Maybe you're just noticing how many of those cars were there already. Wouldn't it be good to attune your mind to notice how many opportunities there are to become wealthier? Some people believe the mind is like a magnet, that what we hold uppermost in our attention, we attract to us. In other words, we always get more of what we focus on. In music, there's something called the principle of sympathetic resonance. If you have two pianos in the same room and you hit a C note on one piano, you'll find that the C string on the other piano will start vibrating in resonance at the same rate. In the same way, you're always attracting people and circumstances that resonate with your predominant thoughts. Whether you choose to believe in the law of attraction or not, it's interesting to note that many highly successful people do. Those who focus on the positive in life and attract it to them are called lucky. I personally believe we create our own luck. That is what's meant when it says in the Bible, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." Your thoughts are an energy that are powerful and creative. I've found that most wealthy and successful people tend to employ the same simple habits and beliefs about prosperity. However, the same rule of habits and beliefs applies to poverty as well. I believe that many people help to keep themselves poor through the beliefs and habits they have towards money. They use the evidence that their lack of money has made them poor, whereas sometimes their poor behaviors in relation to money is what keeps them from experiencing abundance. They've affirmed over and over again, often unconsciously, that they're poor, so it's become a self-fulfilling prophecy, a poverty consciousness. What the positivity system does is helps you to change that. I'd like to share with you some techniques that I've used myself that have helped me dramatically increase my personal wealth. I've taught them to others, they've also increased their wealth, and now I'd like to share them with you. One of the first things that made a major difference for me was consciously deciding to do things differently. Years ago, I definitely had a poverty consciousness, worrying constantly about being poor or how not to be poor. So guess what? My attention was, yes, on poverty. For example, when a bill would come through the mail, I'd open it, I'd worry about how I was going to pay it, I'd feel poor inside. Obviously, it's important to be financially organized and consider how best to pay bills. However, I was also affirming to my unconscious mind a poverty belief. If you're going to be wealthy, it's just as important to prepare for wealth by feeling rich inside. So what I started to do when I opened a bill was vividly imagine I had thousands in the bank. You can imagine how good that feels. I was sending a new message to my unconscious. Some people try saying affirmations like, "I am truly wealthy." But if deep down you don't believe that, it's next to useless. You have to create a feeling of wealth by vividly imagining yourself as wealthy over and over again. Next, I needed to change my self-image around money. I had a scruffy little checkbook, one that reflected my scruffy little finances at the time. So I changed banks and got a clean new one to help me start to feel different. The mind is sensitive, so it's important to signal to yourself that positive changes are happening. Then the real fun began. I needed to get a strong sense of what greater wealth would be like. So I got an old bank statement, cut it up, removing the bits that said overdrawn, and began to rearrange the figures and glued it back together, showing that I had thousands in credit. As soon as I'd finished, I burst out laughing. Actually holding it in my hands, it began to feel more real. Within a few months, the imaginary amount had become a reality. Having that tangible piece of paper, the bank statement, had really helped. So I went about making a scrapbook, collecting pictures of things I wanted, places I wanted to visit, people I wanted to meet. Remember, the mind needs a sensory-rich experience of what you want it to make real for you. It's important to have big dreams so you can grow into them. For example, a few years ago, I went into a Mercedes showroom, sat in a car to get comfortable, smelled the leather, went for a test drive, imagined vividly it was my own, took away a brochure and added it to my scrapbook, imagined driving it every day. Pretty soon, I started to see Mercedes everywhere. My mind was now focused on getting me one. And chance favors the prepared mind. So it wasn't long before a bargain came along and I bought my first Mercedes. As George Bernard Shaw said, some men see things and ask why. I dream things that never were and ask, why not? A friend of mine got really into this type of creative visualization. He'd been practicing on visualizing parking spaces. Amazingly, it seemed to work. So he decided to go for bigger things. He'd never traveled abroad, and he really wanted to, but he didn't have the finances. So he collected together a bunch of travel brochures, cut out the pictures of all the places he wanted to go, and stuck them in his scrapbook. This is the funny part. He packed his suitcase every Sunday for a month and went to the airport. He even stood in line. He'd then come home and watch a video of a program about traveling on Concorde and look through his scrapbook at all the places he wanted to go. He really gave himself, his unconscious mind, that experience of traveling to and enjoying exotic locations. He focused on it for a month non-stop because he believed you always get more of what you focus on. Suddenly, he was called into his boss's office and asked if he would become their international correspondent. His boss explained it would mean traveling all over the world. He could hardly believe it. Most amazingly of all, when he arrived in a small village in Switzerland, he began to get a feeling of déjà vu. It was only when he got back to England and checked in his scrapbook that he found it was the exact same village that he'd been visualizing. Extraordinary as it may seem, I've witnessed many such occurrences similar to this since. I personally have become more skeptical about coincidences and am willing to consider that in some cases it's as though the mind may actually have the ability to attract events, things, or people to us. When I made a TV series about paranormal phenomena, we featured one experiment conducted by a French scientist. He created a robot that moved in a random pattern around the room. Then he hatched a group of chicks. When a chick's born, the first thing it sees it believes to be its mother. This process is called imprinting. The chicks imprinted on the robot as their mother. Then he put the chicks in a cage in one corner of the room and switched the robot on. Amazingly, it stopped moving randomly around the room and moved over to the area where the chicks were. There it stayed, moving back and forth. Strong evidence for the existence of what's known as psychokinesis, or in other words, mind over matter. It appeared that the chicks were somehow willing the robot that they believed to be their mother to stay with them. At Princeton University, hundreds of thousands of experiments have been conducted testing human ability to influence machines and physical matter. When I made my TV program about paranormal phenomena, I interviewed Dr. Michael Ibbison from Princeton University, who'd been conducting a number of experiments which strongly point to the existence of psychokinesis. Some people are better at it than others, but it's like anything. The more you practice it, the better at it you get. I began to wonder, could it really be possible to literally attract money? What is interesting is that many rich people believe that's how they do it. But how do you do it? It's very simple, but it does take regular practice. You're going to need to rehearse being wealthy, like a method actor would play a part, and do it over and over again. Totally get into that part. Okay, the first thing you need to do is get a scrapbook and start collecting pictures of things that you want, people you'd like to meet, places you'd like to go, things that you really want, anything that you want to bring into your life. Incidentally, it can just be a symbol you desire. Then, go about creating sensory-rich experiences of your goals. If it's a particular car, go about getting a test ride. Then it'll be easier to vividly imagine driving one over and over again. If it's a beautiful house, imagine walking around it until you know every inch of it. The feeling of the carpet, the smell, the texture of the furniture, and so on. Also, be open to feedback from your unconscious mind. When I first imagined owning a Bentley, I was visualizing driving it down the road. But other cars kept bashing into me. No matter how hard I kept trying to get out of the way. I took this to be a warning that, although I could get a Bentley, the cost at the time might be some jealousy. In other words, there was a cost greater than money than I'd foreseen. The next step is, every day, look at your scrapbook. Imagine what it would be like living your desire. See what you'll see, hear what you'll hear, and feel how good it'll feel. Do it as often as you can every day. You may not get instant results. You can imagine how chaotic the world would be if every whim or fancy we ever had suddenly materialized, but you will begin to set the process in action. Okay, I'd like you to stop for a moment and imagine how your life would be different if you are much wealthier.
The most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?